Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Friday morning head coaches press conference here for the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. We ask that you mute your lines as you come in, and please place your name and affiliation in your ID box in order to ask a question of Coach Gundy or Coach Freeman. We'll just let everyone get going here. We are recording this on the Zoom, and we are recording it, which we will send out later today along with the transcripts that'll be broadcast quality for everyone on the call. Just a couple of housekeeping items. We're going to start with Coach Gundy, then we'll go into Coach Freeman. Following this, we will have the two coaches by the trophy, and we'll take some photos and video. Again, we will send that out to all the media members on our distribution lists. We are allowing people permission to record, so just bear with us as we do that. But once again, welcome here to Friday, New Year's Eve, for the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, featuring number 9 Oklahoma State and number 5 Notre Dame. First, we'll open up to questions for Coach Gundy and his 11-2 Oklahoma State Cowboys, making their third appearance in the Fiesta Bowl with a 2-0 record. Coach, welcome this morning, and why don't you give us an opening statement about how your week is going thus far?
Well, we're very excited and thrilled to be in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Congratulations to Coach Freeman and Notre Dame. They've had a terrific season. We've had a great week as always, being in the Scottsdale area, and we have great weather, great accommodations. The Yellow Coats have been fantastic. The people in the community, our players, our fans, families have had a great week, as to be expected. We're very excited about playing in the game. What a great matchup, and two teams that have worked hard to get to this point. So, been going at it since the 1st of August, and gonna get a chance to play one more game tomorrow, and very excited and looking forward to the game.
Coach Freeman.
Well, as Coach Gundy said, this is an extremely unique opportunity for this team, for myself included. We are excited to play a really, really good Oklahoma State team and to be at such a prestigious Fiesta Bowl. Our whole community, our program, the staff, the people that are down here are so excited to be here in Tempe and Phoenix and Scottsdale and all over here in Arizona. So we're looking forward to tomorrow. I mean, it's been a whirlwind over the past few weeks of just changes and bowl practice and Christmas and getting down here, and our kids are ready to go. So we're excited for the opportunity.
Fantastic. Thank you, coaches. Now, again, once again, as we've done all week, please use the raise your hand function, and we'll call on you and ask you to unmute. Our first question this morning will be from Pete Sampson from The Athletic. Pete?
Thanks. Marcus, a couple of ones. One, just an update on Cam Hart. We saw him at practice, hobbled a little bit. And then a bigger picture question was just in terms of, I think we've talked a lot about like what's new and what's challenging as a first-time head coach, but I was interested a few weeks into this if there are things where you've already sort of hit like, this feels natural, this feels comfortable to me, even if I've never done it before.
Yeah, Cam Hart will be ready to go. He got a thigh bruise, I think it was Monday in practice when we got down here. Just a knee hit him in the thigh, and he was out for a day. But he was practicing yesterday. He'll be ready to go, and we look forward to him being 100% on Saturday. As far as being a first-time head coach, you attack each task being the person you are, right? Being the person that got you to this position, and there's something new every day, right? Tomorrow will be my first time being a head coach, and it's going to be something new, but you just attack it one thing at a time, one day at a time, and you figure this thing out.
Next up, we'll go to Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman.
Yeah, Marcus, if I'm not mistaken, you played against Notre Dame once as a player maybe and twice as an assistant at Purdue. What is, a lot's been made about the mystique of Notre Dame and playing against that gold helmet. When you win against Notre Dame, is that how you felt? Hey, this is a big opportunity. This is something special.
Yeah, I think the history and tradition of Notre Dame speaks for itself. We all know Notre Dame's unique. I didn't know what made Notre Dame unique until I actually got here, and it's the people. It's the people that have gone through this campus, that have gone through this university for 4 years, that have expanded throughout this country and throughout this world. That's what makes Notre Dame special. The football tradition speaks for itself, but Notre Dame is a special place built by special people, and that's what makes this place special. And I didn't know that till I got here, but I quickly learned this place is very unique, and it's because of the people.
Our next question will be from Eli Letterman from the Tulsa World.
Hey, Mike. We talked to you all week about your plans with the defensive play caller. Have you made a call there, and if so, what went into that decision?
Well, we'll have a couple guys calling plays for us. We'll do it on 1st and 10, and then third downs, passing situations. After watching it for the last 3 weeks, we've had a number of guys in the room that I was comfortable with. So we're going to use a couple guys, do it at different times in the game based on situations.
And who are those two guys, or a few guys?
Well, you have Dan Hammersmith, you have Tim Duffy, and you have Joe Bob Clements. Those guys will be able to mix up the play calling based on the situation.
Our next question will go from Cayden Mcfarland from KJRH TV.
For Coach Gundy, Coach, I know you've been asked before, with the bowl game record, yours of 10-5, it seems like you must have kind of a pretty good formula for preparation. I'm wondering if maybe you can speak to what it is, big picture that you've done to prepare teams for bowl games and what your team's prep has been like over this last month.
Well, I'm a firm believer that players win games. Coaches can lay out a blueprint and give them an opportunity, but players have to be able to go out and compete and play and win games, particularly in bowls. Just my experience in doing it for a number of years is some teams are excited to play in bowl games and maybe some teams aren't. We've been very fortunate that we have a great culture at Oklahoma State. We have young men that really like to play football. I think that's an advantage, particularly in today's society, that these guys really enjoy playing football, and our bowl preparation's been great. Once we finish the regular season and we give them a week off and then we start bowl preparation, we go out at pretty good, and then they make a decision as a team, how hard they want to practice, what they want to put into it, what their commitment level is. And we've been very fortunate over a number of years to have really quality young men that look forward to playing in bowl games. We feel like that we owe a lot to the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. We feel like we owe a lot to our fans, people that support us throughout the year. And when you play a great Notre Dame team, we feel like we're obligated to give them our best game.
Thank you, Coach. Our next question will be from Pete Byrne from WSBD TV.
Hey, this question is for Coach Freeman. Coach, you obviously, we know it's your first game. I'm curious, as you get to within 24 hours of kickoff here, are you starting to experience any excitement or nervous energy, anything that you're not used to? And secondly, I'm curious if you've thought about what you'll tell your team right before you send them out in the field tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm right now focused on making sure we have a good walkthrough today, and we finish our final preparations as we go into tomorrow. I'm usually nervous before every game. It's because you can't go out there and do it anymore. And so you live through these young people, and I'm most excited for them to be able to go out there and compete and play against a really good Oklahoma State team. So we'll get to tomorrow when it presents itself. I'll figure out what I'll say to this group of guys here tomorrow. But there's really nothing else need to be said. We've practiced, we're prepared. We need it now. They want to go play.
Thank you, Coach. Our next question will be from Ben Hutchins from the Ocali. Ben?
Hey, Mike, I know you got a game left this season, but I'm wondering, how well did your offense play this season?
I didn't catch the last part.
Yeah, sorry about that. I know you got a game left, but how well, in your opinion, did your offense play this season?
Did he say this season? Okay, so we played good at times. There were games that we didn't play as well, and it was based on turnovers. It's not a complicated game, right? Move forward, don't take negative lost plays, take care of the football, don't turn it over, and be good in special teams. Defense, don't give up big plays. So it's not a complicated game for us anyway. And at times when we didn't play as well offensively is when we turned the football over.
Our next question will be from Eric Hansen from the South Bend Tribune. Eric?
This is for Coach Freeman. Coach, got a kind of two-parter here. The first one is, how have you been able to navigate the increased COVID protocols? How did your team come through that? The second thing is more bigger picture, and it's, you wanted so much to make this for your seniors, this game, but how much were you able to toggle with everything else on your plate, like assistant coaching searches, portal perusal, and recruiting and things like that?
With the COVID question, just, we have everybody available for the game. And so what we did was we made sure they understood how important it is to make good decisions as you left campus and as you come down to Arizona. We have to make smart decisions. We have to know where we're at and understand that, hey, whatever it's going to take to make sure we have everybody healthy and available to play this game, then let's do it. And so they've done an excellent job, and everybody will be available for Saturday. As far as just focusing on the seniors and finishing the season the right way, everything else comes second. The staff, the future staff comes second. The transfer portal comes second. Right now, it's about preparing this group to finish as champions, and that's our mindset, and that's everything that we do is let's finish this season off the right way, and we'll handle those other situations after the bowl game.
We'll move on to Robert Allen from the Oklahoma State Network. Robert?
Yeah, my question's for Coach Freeman. Coach, this last week, actually the entire bowl prep time, Mike Gundy has spent a lot more time on the defensive side of the ball with the absence of Jim Knowles. As a head coach, how quickly have you acclimated to watching the offense and being involved in what you want them to get accomplished?
I mean, right now, my role has been pretty much what it's been all year in terms of, being very involved with the defense. And the only time I'm not involved with the defense is when we do good on good. And then I get the chance to run around there and be the ref. And so that's my fun time, the chance to go out and run around and spot the ball and blow the whistle. But when we go scout teams, I'm with the defense, very involved with the defense. And our offensive staff has done a great job all year. And I trust what we're doing on the offensive side of the ball. And that's what we're going to do as we move into tomorrow.
Our next question will be from Tim Prister.
A question for Coach Freeman. Coach, without Kyron Williams, who's been the emotional leader of this offense for the last couple of years, who fills that void? And then in order to play complementary defense with your offense and defense, what's your message to Tommy Rees going into this?
Well, how do you replace Kyron Williams? You don't. You don't replace Kyron Williams with one person. You try to replace his production with a group of guys, and you're going to see all three of them between Diggs and between Chris and then between Audric and those guys. Everybody's got to help. Everybody's got to help fill the production that Kyron Williams had. The emotional leadership that he brought to this team will have to be picked up by other guys. Other leaders that we have amongst this team that I'm confident will do a great job of being the emotional leaders for tomorrow. As far as, what was your second part, Tim? You're on mute. He's on mute. Complimentary football, right? So as far as complimentary football, again, we all understand that we're going to need all three phases tomorrow to be successful. And we're going to have to do a really, really good job on all three phases to have a chance to be successful in this game. And so every phase, every offense, defense, special teams understands that you're going to have to do what your part in making sure that we have success. We got to take care of the football. We got to try to take the football away. We got to take care of the ball in special teams. You see the punter for Oklahoma State somehow finds a way to have so many returners muff punts. And it's something that I just watch over and over. And if we can't take care of the football, then it's going to be a long game. So everybody has to understand, let's take care of the football on offense, try to take the football away on defense, and we have to hand the ball to the official on special teams.
And who will be handling punt returns?
Right now it'll be Matt Salerno.
Thank you.
We'll move to Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Barry, you're up.
Yeah, Mike, you've done a great job of not making us feel like idiots over the years when it comes to football. But the truth is, we don't know much about what's going on. When you talk about 2 or 3 guys calling the defense, how does that work communication wise? Like deciding whether it's 3rd and long or 3rd and medium. That's a decision that seems like have to be made in a split second, and then the play call. How does that whole communication work with multiple guys calling the next play?
So you have 1st and 10, second normal base plays in a game, and then you have 3rd and 5 plus would be more of a passing situation, traditional. And the defensive coaches have done what everybody else in the country does. They have breakdowns and numbers based on that, and that gives them an opportunity to make play calls based on the situation that we think we're in defensively, compared to what Notre Dame has done offensively. You know, they're playing with 2 quarterbacks. Guys are a little different style-wise, but both have been successful. So, depending on the situation, certain guys make plays. Particularly 3rd and 5 plus would be different than 1st and second down and normal.
Tom Noy from the South Bend Tribune.
Question for Marcus Freeman. Marcus, what are these last 24 hours going to be like for you as far as your to-do list as a head coach compared to when you're the defensive coordinator?
It'll still be very similar. Again, it's after this, we got to walk through, and then we have to go to the stadium and come back, and the players will have a little bit of time off before we have dinner tonight. And so my mindset will still be similar, just my last-minute preparations. And then as we go into tomorrow, we got to wake up and play. And so you don't have a lot of time to think about what you're going to do tomorrow morning. We got to get up early, and we have to be ready to go from the minute we get down to the lobby. And so that's my whole thought process is, hey, what can I do to make sure our guys wake up and they're ready to go in the morning? And then, you know what, at the end of the day, we got to trust your preparation. You got to trust that we prepared the right way. And then they got to go out there and execute, because you see it over and over. Everybody, I think, has a plan for success, and they're not that much different. But it's the ability to go out there on game day and execute that you see. The teams that are executing are the ones that are winning these bowl games.
Garen Emig from the Tulsa World. You're up.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, back to the train of thought about the defensive play calling. When Jim left, was your initial assumption that you'd leave that to one guy, and then you discovered as you went through bowl prep that this was the best way to go about it? Or did you have the shared responsibilities in mind all along, and you found out that you could make that work?
Well, I felt comfortable with the coaches in our defensive room. As you know, you followed us for a long time. Most of the guys on my staff have been with me a number of years. So for that reason, they have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Obviously, we rely on our coordinators just like everybody else in the country, but in most cases, you're going to have coaches in each room that are capable of calling offense, defense, could be special teams, based on being in there for a number of years. So once Jim decided to leave, then I had to go to work and watch and see and get a feel in meetings and different things, practice, to get an idea of where we were at as a staff, and I became comfortable with several guys being able to help call in the game.
Next up is Patrick Engel from the Blue and Gold Illustrated. Patrick.
Marcus, going off the running backs, how have you noticed Chris Tyree in recent weeks, now that he at least told us the other day he's fully recovered, it seems, from turf toe that was not a fun injury for him? What have you noticed about how how close, I guess, he looks to kind of pre-injury form, and how he's looking at tomorrow's opportunity?
Yeah, the reality is I haven't seen Chris Tyree practice much before this last month when I became the head coach. I didn't pay much attention to it, but I did see highlights from him last year, and obviously the explosive plays that he made, and even in terms of our offense this season. As a defense coordinator, you don't have much time to watch the offensive side of the ball, but he's done an unbelievable job in bowl prep, and he's reiterated to me that he feels healthy, he finally feels 100%. He's done a heck of a job in practice. So all I can do is make my observations off what I've seen these past 4 weeks in bowl prep. You know, I really can't compare to what I've seen during the season because I didn't pay much attention to what our offense was doing in terms of scout team and stuff like that. So he's done an excellent job for us, and I expect him to play well tomorrow.
Hallie Hart from the Stillwater News.
Hi, my question's for Coach Gundy. Going back to the defensive play calling with choosing to divide those responsibilities among three guys, besides their abilities to coach different positions, what is it that kind of makes each of the three of them unique going into this situation?
Just my feeling that some guys have a better feel for what goes on up front. Some guys have a better feel for what goes on in the back end. But the three of them have a good feel for the entire defense. So to localize their specialty gives us the best chance, in my opinion, in this football game, and not put it all on one guy's shoulders. So they can study and come up with a plan based on what they see and what they feel going into this game. Gives us the best opportunity, in my opinion.
I know you had said that Thursday was when you were going to have that meeting with them. Did you sit down with the staff and have that conversation Thursday, and how did that go?
Well, I didn't necessarily sit down with everybody. I just had communication with them throughout the week on what my plans were, and they were comfortable and fine with the situation, and looking forward to being able to call plays in the game. That's the fun part of it, that some guys don't ever get a chance to be a coordinator. They don't ever get to sit down on PlayStation and call plays. Now that they're coordinators, they get a chance to call some plays in the game, so it's a pretty cool situation.
Thank you.
Chris Daly.
Hey, Marcus. A lot has gone on with this Notre Dame team throughout the season. Lots of ups with lots of downs as well. What has this season taught you about yourself as a person?
Well, it was a great, actually a humbling experience for me to start the season. You come from Cincinnati, where we had a lot of success, and you feel like you really had a good spring, you really had a good fall. As you go into the first game versus Florida State, after that game, you're like, oh crap, we're not as good as I thought. And so in terms of defensively, we didn't play as well. Toledo, we didn't play as well. And so it really made me lean on our staff and kind of say, okay, hey, what changes do we need to make, right? What small changes do we need to make sure that this scheme fits the players that we have? And so what you've seen over the course of the year is, hey, just trying to make small strategic changes to our scheme to make sure it fits the players we have. Then all of a sudden, after week 6, your best player, Kyle Hamilton, goes down. And so you got to say, okay, now how do we fit this scheme around who's the next guy in? And so this group is just trusted us, trusted this coaching staff. The coaching staff has done a tremendous job in terms of just figuring out what's the best way to teach these guys, what's the best things that fit these guys. And we've worked as a team. The defensive staff has been a team all year. And taking other people's ideas is something that we've done, and just the ability to try to get to this final product that we have. It's been a growing experience, but I think as of the Stanford game, we were playing our best ball. And so I hope that momentum can continue to keep going in the same directions as we get ready to go out there tomorrow.
Chuck Freeby from WNDU TV.
This is for both coaches. I'm wondering, as you've watched all this video, what's one aspect of your opponent that you really admire, that you sit there and say, boy, I wish we had that in our program?
Go ahead, Coach.
Well, my challenge to our group is we have to match the intensity and the physicality this group plays with. And that's something I've always prided myself on as defensive coordinators. We're going to be tough, we're going to be physical, and we're going to play hard. Then you turn on the film and you watch this offense and their defense especially play extremely hard, extremely physical, and it's a challenge. The ability to match that intensity, to match that physicality and how hard they play will be a huge challenge. But I think our group's up to it, and that's what we're going to have to do if we want to have success tomorrow.
Well, the answers are similar. Teams that have had this much success and get to bowls like the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl is you have to compete against teams that play really hard. And so Notre Dame plays hard. The guys look like they like to play football. They run to the football. They compete. They fight for extra yards. Their quarterbacks aren't scared to make plays with their legs at times. And again, I go back to it's not really a complicated game. And teams that have players that are willing to compete, run to the football, fight for extra yards, care about the guy next to him. And that's what you have to do when you play in games like this, and that's what I see from Notre Dame.
We'll go to Jason Elmquist from the Stillwater News.
Hey, Mike, Coach Freeman talked about how, no COVID issues with their team. First, I wanted to ask if you guys were all clear with that as well. And then along the line of health, how has Jalen Warren looked this week coming off of that ankle injury that kept him out of the Big 12 title game?
So we're doing really good with COVID. We had a few cases before we left. Since we've gotten here, we've only had one case. We're in great shape. Our guys have done a good job. And Jalen Warren's practiced and doing fine. I feel like that he's healthy for the first time in, since the TCU game, really. He's back and feels pretty good and excited about, him being able to play. As coaches, we always want our players that put forth the effort over a year to compete and finish the season full speed, to give them a chance to go out there and play and have some fun. He's doing really well this week.
We'll turn back to Eli from the Tulsa World. Eli.
For you, Mike, I guess on COVID, how many guys are you going to be without tomorrow? And then in terms of health, where's Blaine Green at headed into tomorrow, and what's he dealing with?
We're in good shape with COVID. We've been very fortunate. As I said, our medical staff has been good. Our players have committed themselves to staying healthy, so we're in great shape. Blaine won't play in the game tomorrow. We just don't feel like that he's in a position to play, so we'll set him and let him get some off-season work, get him ready to go for spring ball.
And is it a leg or a foot injury with him?
You're young, and I've told you this a number of times. If you get an injury, do you want me to tell everybody in the country, or would you rather me keep it a secret?
Fair enough.
All right, buddy.
We'll finish up with Cayden Mcfarland from KJRH-TV. Cayden?
Mike, I guess your old coach, Pat Jones, has said that this game will be as big as anybody who's ever put on an Oklahoma State uniform has played in. I'm wondering if you would go that far in terms of the importance of this game, and just what do you think is at stake, I suppose, for your program, in terms of national reputation?
Well, we have all the respect in the world for Notre Dame. This is the first time that we've come across them. I said this in the press conference the day that the game was announced. My mom is from Flint, Michigan. She was born and raised up there. She was born in Catholic school. And so I had a little bit of Go Blue and the Notre Dame fight song pushed on me when I was a young kid, growing up in Oklahoma. So I'm very aware of it. We're extremely excited. I mentioned a few weeks ago that myself and our athletic director then, Coach Holder, we tried to schedule a home-and-home with Notre Dame and found out they were scheduled way, way, way in advance, so it wasn't possible. But one thing that is important to us in our culture is it doesn't make a difference who we play. It doesn't make a difference where we play. We have a responsibility. So we get the same question a lot in preseason. Sometimes we might play somebody that of an opponent that people think might not be up to playing Oklahoma State, and how do you get your team ready? It's the same process. We have a responsibility to prepare, to practice, to work hard, to get ready to play, make a difference who it is. And so is this a great opportunity and a big game for everybody on the field and all of our players and everybody from Oklahoma State? Sure it is. And we prepare the same way each week. I hope that we do. That's my responsibility, to make sure our players understand that side of it.
Coach, I actually lied. I'm going to ask Coach Gundy one more question. Coach Dickey is a Scottsdale native, grew up here, went to Saguaro High School, gets to practice at his high school field. His family has had season tickets for the Fiesta Bowl for all 51 years of the game. He used to sneak on the field in the early days to get autographs and gloves from the players. What has it meant for Coach Dickey to come back here and coach in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl this year, and his impact on the team?
So it's been a really neat situation. I gave him a hard time earlier in the week because we knew that this was his home and had played here, and a very tradition-rich high school. So we were leaving to go to practice the other day, And my youngest son, my 17-year-old, was going to drive over and meet us over there so he could work out in the weight room. And we were walking out to get ready to get on the bus. And I said, "Hey, Coach Dickey," I said, "do you know how to spell the high school that we're practicing at today?" And he said, "Well, you know that's my school, right?" And I said, "No, I didn't know that was your school. I just need to know if you know how to spell it so he can put it in his GPS so he can get over there." So I was giving him a hard time about it, and he spit it out real fast on how to spell it. He said, "Coach, that's my high school." So anyway, I kind of let him get on the bus and didn't say anything about it till later. But it's been really neat. We've got several connections out here. It's interesting. We have quite a few people that have some ties out here in this area, and it's been fun for them to come back and be here a week.
Thank you. And for Coach Freeman, you played in the game in 2009 as a member of the Ohio State Buckeyes against Texas. A couple other times you've been out here for the game. What does it mean for you to coach in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl after having played in the game?
And this is almost like the home away from home. You know, I played 3 out of my 5 bowl games here in Arizona. And so it's always been a great bowl game. You know, the result may not have always been what you want, but this bowl game is to me, as good as it gets. And so as a coach, you're honored. You're honored to be a part of what a great contest that we're going to have tomorrow, and to represent such a great university. I'm thrilled and couldn't be more excited to be out here.
Well, thank you to our 2 coaches for spending some time with us here this morning. Good luck tomorrow with a 11 o'clock kickoff over at State Farm Stadium, Glendale.